Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Today we got another scene from the Chains of a New World of Darkness. Today we're going to have Xander, who has just finished meeting with Rancor and Astra at his freehold. They've all parted ways. Xander is now on his way back to Krejny to seek audience with Mr. Kegoma. And so we will have Xander wandering around Krejny trying to find Kegoma.
Seek an audience, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like these days. So he's wandering out the chambers, asking anyone who walks by if they have seen you.
Okay. He's immediately encounters a young, I guess, satyr gentleman, about early 20s. He's like, yeah, I think I just saw him up on the main terrace. He was out just getting a breath of air before the council was in session again. He should still be up there. But you know how ish you are.
Unfortunately, I do. As he will head in that direction. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. So Xander winds his way through the barony. Up at the top of one of the main spires, there's like a small terrace that Kegoma has formed. It kind of just overlooks everything. It is mainly a place of silent kind of contemplation. I mean, he's there just looking over the landscape, the setting sun. The weather isn't um, its normal idyllic state. It's kind of like a rainy, kind of like kind of mopey, grayish kind of skyline.
Xander will approach.
He doesn't turn immediately. He's has his back towards you currently, but he might be just lost in thought.
Hello.
Ah, kind of jumps a little bit and kind of turns around. Hey, how's it going?
Xander is not dressed in his normal, you know, fixed up self. He's kind of in street clothes and looks a little disheveled.
Okay. So for changelings, there's definitely like two things to be seen. There's the kind of appearance that drapes across their true self, their the in the autumn world, which is probably the street clothes. But when
Right.
changelings are in like freeholds or they're dreaming, like the barony, there's definitely like a chimerical reality, which typically there's not street clothes that are made for the chimerical reality. So he's just probably wearing just like some like he's just not as fancy. He doesn't have like fancy
Yes,
robes on.
he's definitely not his normal prep looking self.
Okay. Yeah. What's up?
What is it? Should be a better word.
Yeah.
Uh, I assume you've heard of the craze that is going on several different freeholds.
Yes. It's a problem that we're currently embroiled in quite a bit of discussion with at the council here. There are several freeholds in our surrounding areas that have been hit by this terrible calamity. And due to the bonds that we have entered into with our neighbors, we are, as a barony, required to lend some type of aid. Um, some most unfortunate circumstances.
Yes. Unfortunately, our home is one of them.
Have you?
Uh,
What have you done? Have you figured out what this thing is?
no, we haven't. Myself, Rancor, and Astria, we were just there. Um, my balefire is probably about the size of a ball, uh, maybe a tennis ball or so. It's really bad. The entire living area is covered in what appears to be ice.
And is it like the other freeholds where this ice persists? It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't appear to be evaporating or melting.
Hold on. That is him calling me back. Hello. My my apology for life's interruptions. Um, as a side note, I have a interview tomorrow at 2.
Yay!
So so back to scene. Uh, yeah. It's definitely the ice is definitely not growing. Austria took a piece with her to study. I would not recommend anyone touching the ice with their bare hands.
Mm.
Um, we also tried fire, and it seems as though the ice has a quality that resists uh, the cantrip.
Mm.
However, um, any form of cantrip that adds glamour should not be attempted. Um, it it appears that the ice grows or moves sharply in the direction of the cantrip, so whoever's casting would be definitely in trouble.
Wow. Oh, it's
And
definitely.
also, we have found that the ice has a sort of banality to it. Um, we've definitely decided that home fires would be the best place to go for more answers, being that it was the scene of the calamity. Maybe there would be more clues there.
Well, from from home fires, the kind of the connection to the balefire of the kingdom definitely spreads. So that's a good place to start. What affects that balefire affects the rest of the balefire of the kingdom. Probably further removed from home fires, perhaps the balefire of Tarnar, which is the great balefire from which all other fires are lit.
I hear that some people have completely lost their fields.
It's true. It's true. You're quite fortunate. Particularly after casting magic in the freehold. I fear that some Githane have been speared by this crystalline structures.
I I've definitely sealed the entrance from Cece's room to the living room. I don't want her stumbling around in there. Don't
Makes
know what
sense.
effect the ice could have on her. Plus, she doesn't seem to have any interest in going in there anyway, being that it is ice.
Mm. There's a pervasive chill that is definitely more than the cold from ice. So she probably senses that.
I must say that I am at a loss, though.
Mm.
Do we know if this is ever happening anywhere at any other time? I
I
mean,
haven't I haven't looked because I'm not sure necessarily that a past solution will bear any weight in our present scenario. We've been studying the ice though to try and see if there's something that we could use to repel it or at least strengthen the freeholds back to their original standing.
is there any clue as to why this happened? I mean, did someone set this into motion? I mean, or did this ice worm just decide to do it on its own because it was pissed?
Again, those are all things that need to be researched. I don't have any answers. I've encountered this situation just like you did. In fact, I believe that you would know more since your freehold was affected. You entered a slumber. You have a stronger connection to this than I.
No. When it happened, that definitely felt like something inside me broke. Um, for a minute, I thought something might have happened to you. And when I came to and noticed that the room was covered in frost, uh, hmm,
I I'm different than the rest of the people that I meet with every day, and that I wasn't born from the high and noble she Keth. Um, but when I see things like the events that have fallen upon our kingdom, I do not see coincidence. I only see providence. I know that in your long history with us, it's you're almost about to enter um, your year and a day of training. You've often searched outside for answers instead of inside. I'm not sure if the fates themselves are testing you. Perhaps this is a challenge that you must overcome.
perhaps. Hmm.
It's only the grasping of straws of fate of an old issue, but I find it interesting of all the people to be affected that you were one of them. And
Hmm.
if ever a time existed to make one's name known, surely it would be now.
You could be very well right. Hmm. Whatever it is, answers must be found. Hmm. problem is where to start. And
At
my
the
mind just
beginning,
went to the place.
we always start at the beginning, as any good story.
Uh, that's true. But with any good story, it is the climax that is always the most dangerous.
Well, more than stories. I do enjoy a climax.
Pervert.
He kind of wakes.
Uh, well,
You you
I have.
you have to trust in your own fate. You have a lot of bolster, and you always say what you could do. This is the nut up time. Yeah. You have to trust in your fate and your destiny. Now all quests now all quests lead us away from the kingdom and into the wilds of the dreaming. Sometime our path is already laid out before our very feet. We just have to follow it and trust that we will make the right decisions.
True. Huh, then I guess now is only time to collect information because there's nothing else we can do. So a good investigation, I guess, is the only priority now.
Hmm. Let me try something. Let me see your hand.
He extends his hand.
And Kegoma will put Xander's hand in his, and he will massage the top of his hand and then turn over his hand and examine his lifeline. Hmm. Fate and what we call Dan. You've learned about that in your teachings at the academy. It's a more complicated and some would say squirmy Cathane perspective of what mortals call fate. It's definitely a squiggly thing. Throughout history, knowing the future has changed the future. So, wise seers um, try not to use their art unless absolutely necessary. Um, but what I can see, he gives Xander back his hand. What I can see is that you do have a part in all this.
And Zender like kind of like looks at the ground. Like, yeah, I think I do. Everything happens for a reason, and there are no coincidences in life. Not this one.
Be the man that you've always wanted to be. During our courtship, you've always mentioned that you're no one's boy, you're not a child, as we've reflected upon. Um, Now's the chance to prove it. I believe this is all part of your sainting, and by the end of this, we'll be able to discern your true name. But you have to step into your own light. and not stand in anyone else's shadow.
Understandable. Hmm.
I know that look. You're nervous that you're nervous about being wrong, and you're going to be wrong. But the important thing is that you have to start moving. You can't be paralyzed by indecision because you're concerned about being right or wrong. No one's going to fix this. At least I don't believe so.
Oh, someone's going to fix this, all right.
Well, no one besides you.
Exactly. Mhm. Yeah, I think you are more than just correct. I think you've given me some insight on some things that I wasn't really thinking about.
Well, I'll always here to help, I guess.
By the way, I ventured out into the forest just beyond the keep.
Mhm.
These, and the look of realization just came across Andrew's face. Um, Here's a question out of character. In comparing is it the, what was it, was it ice covered trees or silver covered? Is the same material as the ice in the balefire?
um, no, no. This is definitely
Okay,
what you saw in the forest was definitely still very much connected to the dreaming and not part of any type of finality.
okay. I ran into some wolves.
Wolves.
They're huge wolves.
Yeah, I told you the story of the Fiona and the Fiona. Maybe I didn't, but it said that my house has a connection to wolves.
Hmm.
So, what about the wolves? You okay?
Yeah, I think I might have made a very terrible mistake.
What happened?
It appeared that I was being surrounded by some wolves, so I attacked,
Okay.
and they found that it was a very dumb thing to do.
Wait, why do you think that?
Oh no, I'm just reflecting on the scowl that one of the wolves gave me as it ran off.
Hmm. Well, um, sounds weird, but um, okay.
I went out to investigate that eerie sensation that was going on.
Hmm.
So I found that some of the trees to the northeast were starting to be covered in a silver-like substance.
Hmm. That's interesting.
And when the wolves showed up, oh no, it was a. I just felt like I was being flanked, and I responded. And when I should have used better means of wanting to test out a new weapon.
Wait, isn't that your? Hmm. Come into the keep with me real quick, um, and he'll go in from the terrace and um, lead Zander down through the meeting rooms and the living quarters and such, and to the library. Um, just want to look at something. Your house is very secretive, and I remember that banner we saw. Um, wasn't that a silver tree?
Yes, yes, it was.
Hmm. So you must have been close to something that was somehow significant to your keep or to your house or something.
I'm going to go back.
I wouldn't do that if there's a bunch of marauding kind of running around the forest.
Well, that's however I don't intend alone. Hmm. But it's something that still has to be investigated.
What are you going to do about them?
However, I must be. Pardon?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that I have to let the bail fight take precedence right now. This must be resolved. Never know, this incident can even get any worse. Who says that this is the last time or it won't happen again?
Right. Right.
Besides, I have an obligation to protect the home.
Yes, we both do. But I feel that I must, at least for the moment, put the needs of my people before my own. I hope that you understand.
Well, part of me wants to say, really. However, you truly do know I understand. Besides, I am the one who has helped to push you into this direction. To pull you back from it now would be asinine, quite selfish. Besides, you protecting the greater good eventually protects me too. So,
He stands up from the table and kind of closes the book that had a bunch of house banners. He'll give Xander a big hug, really tight hug around his neck.
that I needed.
Remember to trust yourself.
I will fix this problem, one way or another.
He sits there kind of silently. Probably looks like he wants to say some other stuff, but that's the problem with Kegoma. He thinks he's been kind of butting in and being a little meddlesome, um,
Hmm.
and it's hard for someone to find their own strength when, there's someone else always there. So he's definitely not. Looks like he wants to say something more, but he doesn't.
And he's like, Zander like stared into his eyes. Well, say it.
I think I already have. There's more than one way to skin a cat, so hurry home.
Yes. And it looks like I will be taking a leave of absence from the gym for a while.
I'll make sure it's
I can handle it.
I'll make sure it's handled. I'm assuming you will prefer not to have Ian working on it, although he's the most qualified. I realize you don't trust him for some reason.
Yeah, and you would be correct in your assumption.
All right. So Jeffrey, then.
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay. I'll make it happen.
All right, and please, I know you have a barony to keep. Well, let's not forget you do have a home.
I think.
And with that, my good sir. Pardon?
I think I should take some of my own advice every now and again. But point noted.
I said, what are you sawing over there? It sounds like you're sawing a piece of wood. Well then, with that, I will take my leave of you. I know you have so much more to do. And as do I.
Be careful.
You too. You too. Oh, have you heard from Val by any chance?
I haven't attempted to contact him.
Do we know if their freeholds were affected?
I assume if his freehold was affected, he would have came back to this one.
Okay. Makes sense. Well then, I will leave you to attend to Krejny. And I will head back to the keep. It is time to do some work with Cece.
This is a heavy burden, but it's not one that you can endure.
Oh, believe you me, I will endure and I will overcome.
Good.
And he will give you a hug and a kiss as he will depart. And if there isn't anything else to add.
Oh, I think that's it.
All right. All right, and that will end scene. Thank you. Good evening. Good night. God bless.
Thanks for watching.
Keep the home fire safe.
Keep the home fire's burning. They're going out left and right. Cats and dogs sleeping together, mass hysteria.
You stupid.
What about the children?
I tried to tell America about the church.